Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Saturday, October the 29th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and this gentleman to my left is in the blue hat. I believe that's Mr. Josh Crash Davis. Crash, how are you on this wonderful Saturday, sir?
I'm doing well, Coach. Just been watching the Wisconsin Badgers are off today. It's their bye week, so I've just been watching some of the other games and getting ready for NBA tonight and World Series Game 2.
What a game last night for baseball, huh?
Unbelievable finish. The Phillies just seem like no matter what, they just find a way to win.
Yep, we talked about it yesterday on the World Series podcast, Team of Destiny, and it just felt like it. And if that doesn't prove it last night, they were dead and buried in that game.
Yeah, definitely. Pretty good lineups last night, though, in NBA, on Fanduel especially. Now, Jokic let me down. That was the main one that let me down. But Mikal Bridges had a really nice game, so that was nice. Was able to cash comfortably, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, I was, Trae Young really got the night going for me. He was awesome too.
Yeah.
So he and Murray have both of them have played fantastic ball, no question about it. But it was a decent night. I mean, we hung in there. Certainly Yahoo got us across the finish line, and a couple guys let us down without question. But I really do like this slate tonight, Crash. I spent a lot of time on it. It's only 6 games, but very strategic tonight. There's a lot of different possible builds, and I think we've got some good potential, value plays and some strategic buy-ups as well.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of NBA lineup news tonight, from what I've seen. So,
and still more to come. So, you want to definitely stay in touch with us here. We'll be in Discord throughout lock and even after lock, because again, there's new breaking news. NBA teams generally don't release their lineup, or at least confirmed lineup, until about 30 minutes before game time. Usually, a lot of times they'll come out before that, but strategically they don't have to. So we're going to keep following that, as we always do throughout the night, if there's any player changes. And again, you have to have some strategy involved with that. If you're going to play a questionable player that, has a Q tag and gets less ownership, sometimes that's really the way to go. But you have to be ready to pivot, and you got to, plug them in utility spots and all of those different things. And, really good DFS players know that, but some people, forget it or take it for granted. But those are the little things, because, for example, in Yahoo, I was successful yesterday by like 3/4 of a point. So when they say every point counts, you're not kidding. I mean, you gotta, if you can sweat out any advantage anywhere, then you got to do it,
Yeah,
no doubt. All right, let me say hello to everybody in chat initially here, and I see everybody is wandering in as normal. Rodney Pollard, our Jeopardy champion, defending champion, jumped in first. So thank you, Rodney. Nathan Feudy, a close second. Aaron Sampson, how are you today, my friend? David Dulac, Paint Blank SM, also known as Dead Presidents. Emerson's Baby Gap Shirt, how are you? Travis Wyndham, great to have you with us. Fear Money Entertainment, LLC. Rico, Mr. Rico Harris, how are you, sir? Earl, known as Mike Tyson, ready to punch you out if you don't give FanDuel information. Crash.
Did you see his little message there, Coach? He said,
"What? I didn't see it.
Rent due in a few days. I hope you're not relying on DFS to pay your rent." That's a risky business, that's for sure.
Who said that? I see it, Earl. There you go. I love it. Yeah, that would not be advisable in our bankroll management and contest selection podcast.
Right.
You do not want to use rent money for DFS.
Yeah.
I know he's just joking, though.
Yeah.
Salutations to you as well, Fear Money. How are you? Who else is in here today? CMO 614. He seems to be a regular now. He was one of guys that jumped over the other day. I think Skotastic was a little late getting started or something. We had some people come over. So it's great to see that you're enjoying what we're throwing out there, and great to have you part of the family. Aloysius 5, of course. Who Dat Nation, trying to give everybody a scare here for Halloween. So we are, I see that Crash is dressed up today for Halloween as a, no, I'm not even going to say it, Crash, because I don't want to get you mad at me.
As a what?
I was going to say, take off that terrifying mask that you're wearing for Halloween, because you're going to scare the children,
right,
and the dogs. But we do have Halloween 2 days. Unbelievable. It's that's
2 days.
Come up quick.
Yeah, I hope we don't have any trick-or-treaters show up in the next couple hours, because my wife isn't back yet. She went to go get some candy. So
oh no, they're gonna egg your house then or something. You're in trouble. King of Smack, what is the word? KJ, great to see you in here with us. Let's see. Bowl play was a badass play. That's right. Crash was on that before anybody else in this industry. I'm telling you right now, he was on that early.
Yeah, I had him in my core before we even got the news about him starting. So that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Jackson, Mississippi game days there. Wow, that's cool.
That is cool.
Yes, we're going to cash today on the 2 brains are better than 1, but I think Earl Tyson's going to have a heart attack here, because we're doing, for the first time ever, a Yahoo 2 brains are better than 1, just to change it up. And, I'm not on the Yahoo payroll by any stretch, but man, they have been so good to me this year. There's money to be made on Yahoo. It's a great site. So we wanted to give them a little push here as well. So no worries though, Earl. We are going to talk a lot about Fanduel and Draftkings and get a lot of different stuff out there to you today. We'll talk a little bit about ownership, and we'll go over some pay-ups, values, and fades, all of the fun stuff that we normally do. And the good part about it is it's only 6 games. So we will get after it here. I want to say hello to Katie, like I do at every show, every podcast, because I can't miss saying hello to her. I do love Yahoo too, Aaron, and it is a well-kept secret. Everybody plays DraftKings and FanDuel. Yahoo should be right in that wheelhouse for everybody as well. Give it a try. I think that you will like it. All right, what else do we have, Crash, before we get going here?
Somebody asked about Tyus Jones. He's the highest projected owned player.
But he's in all my lineups. Later. He's a smash play for me. I love Tyus. Yeah, I love him.
Yeah, I mean, I've built mine for GPP, but I think I probably will end up getting to him as well. I mean, I think it's a really good play. I don't think it's bad chalk at all.
I think it's great chalk, and I'll tell you right now that he is. Sometimes you got to let the leverage affect you. Sometimes you just got to roll with it. But for that value, and it's proven not just this season, but last season, when he has that role, when Jaw's out, he gets the big minutes and he produces. So I think he's just a fantastic play. No question about it.
My pivot to him is currently 0.1% owned. So we'll see if I end up going there. I may end up staying there, but we'll see.
Yeah. I agree, Rodney. Free square today. And, it is what it is. There'll be some people that fade him because they don't like how chalky he is. But, I don't really want to, as far as value per dollar spent salary-wise, it's hard to pass that up. No question. All right, I'm refreshing the ownership projections. We posted them for members in the main chat, but they were a little earlier, so now we're updating them. So when we talk about them in here, you'll have some new numbers to look at. And it does allow you to pay up, little monster. You are absolutely right. Horton Tucker. I don't know, dude.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. THT has looked like POOP and not THT. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe. I don't think it's like maybe the worst idea, but not probably one. And I would only do it in GPP. But all right, I'm getting totally distracted with chat, which is great. I love being able to. And I don't think we ever miss any questions. That's my goal. Never miss a question in chat. So we get everybody in there. You know, Goga Bataze is a possibility there. I like Isaiah Jackson even better than him, though. And the problem with Indiana when Turner's out, he played great, by the way, yesterday, is they do it by committee a lot, too. It's not like you just plug in Isaiah or Goga or any of those guys and they're going to get 35 minutes. They're going to dice them up. So that's something we're going to have to look at. JT, what's up, man? Justin Timberlake's in the house too. So we got everybody here today. All right, sir, we're ready. Game one, only 6 games today on this slate. We're going to also go over pace and defensive efficiency. That's been a good help. I know it's an early, smaller sample size, but I think that does bring to light some situations. And we have 3 games, Crash, with double digit spreads. So now, that in the back of your mind has to always be thinking blowout possibilities. Because one thing we haven't had so far this, early season is big spreads like this. But you've got a 10.5, an 11, and a 10-point spread. So we'll talk about those. We also have some monster numbers. We have our first 240 of the season for a total. And then we have a 233.5 in there. And so those two are going to get a lot of attention. So we've got a lot of things to discuss. And let's start breaking this sucker down. Game one of those big games on both things that I just mentioned. You've got the Golden State Warriors at the Charlotte Hornets. Golden State, a 10-point road favorite, which you don't see a lot of in the NBA. And it is the second highest total at 233.5. You have an implied huge total for Golden State, 121.75. That's a big number. And then Charlotte is 111.75. So very interesting here as far as how much you want to look at this first game and how much you want to play it based on, is it going to stay close enough? A lot of things very interesting there. As far as injuries, DiVincenzo and Iguodala remain out for Golden State. And then it looks as though, I'm going to call them as out, but Martin and Rozier were listed as doubtful all day. I don't see them playing. And we know that LaMelo Ball has been out with an ankle. So that is it, my friends. We've got Curry, Thompson, Wiggins, Green, Looney, expected starters, and DS Jr., Dennis Smith Jr., Oubre, Hayward, Washington, and Plumlee expected for the Hornets. As far as ownership in this game, Crash, I'll give you that information a little bit, and then let me know what you think of this ball game out of the chute. Let's see here. I'm updated it just now so we get the most up-to-date info. So the highest owned guy in this game, which is getting very little ownership, Crash, very little for a 233.5. There's not a single player on the board on DraftKings in the top 20 that is from this game. Isn't that shocking?
I know.
Highest guy is Gordon Hayward, who's $6,500 at 14.7%. And then you've got Draymond Green, the same, 14.7. He's only 5,700. Klay Thompson is dirt cheap, $5,400 for Klay Thompson. Yeah, isn't that something? I remember when he was like high nines. He's like half price. He's 13.9. Then you've got Dennis Smith Jr., who definitely disappointed some people last get-go. He's only 13%, but he's 6,300. Would you believe me if I told you Dennis Smith Jr. was like $1,000 higher than Klay Thompson?
Probably not.
Unbelievable. Jordan Poole at 10% at 5,900. And then you've got 9% Oubre and Wiggins 9% at 6,200 and 7,100. So that's the ownership look at this game, the injuries, the line, the spread. Now what we need is some brilliant input from Mr. Josh Crash Davis.
So I'm trying to just trying to decide here what I want to do, because I don't currently have any of these Golden State guys in my lineup.
Okay.
I hadn't looked at any of the ownership because I was trying to make my lineups as unbiased to ownership as possible.
Okay.
Just to kind of see what happened. And it looks like they're going way lower owned than I thought they would.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, Klay Thompson should be like 40% owned at 5,400. He got 28 minutes last game. You know, they've talked about how they're going to increase his minutes. We know that he's only going to get better as he plays.
Correct.
I just think that that's way too cheap on DraftKings. So he's probably going to be a core play for me the way it's looking now, especially with this Tyus Jones value that's opened up.
Right.
On the Charlotte side, I don't really have much that I like. These value plays and stuff for the Hornets have kind of been going over-owned, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But I do like Nick Richards as a value play. He's 4,600 on DraftKings, 4,900 on Fanduel, $11 on Yahoo. Center has been the one position that Golden State has struggled with the most so far this year. And I think that Richards is a decent value play.
Yeah. I think that is a good GPP shot for sure. And you're going to get some low ownership on him. No doubt about it. You know, as far as I'm concerned in this game, I do think Golden State should handle. I mean, Charlotte's look pretty bad. I mean, they should. They're missing Ball and Rozier. They're missing arguably their two best players. Not very much to argue there. But those, you know, with those two guys out, it's definitely a difficult run. I think that I'm with you. Klay Thompson is a key cornerstone build for me. I just think that's too cheap. He's probably going to get 30 minutes plus, I think. And at 5,400, I mean, I know he's been atrocious. His shooting's been terrible. He's been frustrated, but this team is not good. Charlotte's not good. Right. If there's a game for him to get his legs about him, and you know, Kerr's an awesome coach. So if he's shooting the ball decent, he's going to let him roll for a while just to get some confidence, get in sync. And I can't pass him up for $5,400.
I mean, 3/4 of Klay. This dude scored 37 points one time in the third quarter alone.
I know it.
So even if it is a blowout, if I can get 3/4 of Klay for 5,400, I'm taking that over, you know, a lot of these guys on this slate. I promise you.
I agree completely. I just think he's too cheap. And I think in this matchup, now, if it was a tough defensive matchup or whatever the case may be, I wouldn't look there, but he's not as price savings on Yahoo, but on DraftKings and FanDuel, 5,400 and 5,700 respectively. I mean, there's some guys that barely get minutes that are at that price.
Right.
So exactly. I think he's a great play I'm with you there as well. But I don't see sort of like the field. I agree with most people in the fact that, is it wise to spend, 9-8 on Curry or, even 7-1 on Wiggins? I don't think that I think that's a little risky. Draymond's pretty cheap, but, in games like this where the expected score is high, you would think that's going to mainly come from Klay. Jordan Poole, I think, is a great option at 5'9", because if they do get a double-digit lead, he's one that likes to pour in the points. So, Thompson, Poole, I think, are really reasonable priced and two decent plays on that side of the ball. On the Charlotte side, I'm going to go to Gordon Hayward. He's 6'5" on DraftKings, which I think is really fair. I mean, he's their number one option. Without Ball and Rozier in there, it's definitely Hayward. Now, I've been playing Oubre. He's been a little disappointing, but I don't think he's a bad play either. I think you can, and the same thing I felt yesterday. Oubre at 6'2" and Hayward at 6'5", I think make perfect sense. And I think that reasonable price guys in a high scoring game, it's not like, Vegas doesn't think they're going to score. I mean, they've got a decent total here. So,
Right.
I think you can look at those guys. They're fair priced across the board. And I definitely want 2 or 3 guys from this game, because from everything that I'm looking at ownership wise, it's going grossly under owned considering it's a 233.5 total.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm going to have definitely some ownership here.
Yeah, and I totally agree too about Wiggins and Curry. I mean, those are the guys that I'm not going to play because of their price. We're probably only going to get 3/4 for them, but we're getting the kind of price that we need for Klay Thompson for 3/4. So if he goes 4, I mean, he could put up 50. I mean, it's possible. So.
And like I say, my theory on it is, and by the way, Yami Styles, that's somebody new. I've never seen that name. Welcome to the family, my friend. And I understand the theory there, fade Klay. I mean, he has sunk some lineups this year, but how much risk is involved when you're talking about a guy priced at that number? And it's against a team that doesn't play great defense. By the way, here's the other reason why this game is a decent thought here. Golden State's playing faster than any team in the league. So they're going to pull Charlotte along. Charlotte's in the middle of the pack at 17th, a little under that. But I think it plays fast enough. But neither team is playing great defense, Crash. Golden State's 20th and Charlotte is 16th. And I get it. There are, they're definitely a small sample size here, but they're not playing great D out of the gate. So I think that's why Vegas has this number as high as it is. And I think that it makes perfect sense to look at Hayward or Hayward on the one side specifically, or, either Oubre as well, because there are games where Oubre is going to get hot and just break the slate. So either one of those guys. And I get $5,400 for Klay. I mean, I get it. And if you want to fade him and he does lay another egg, then you're ahead of the field. But I just think it allows you to get to some other guys for sure. And I think Buddy over Klay makes sense. That's risky as well at times with Buddy. He's a streak shooter, but a reasonable pivot, certainly. And there are a lot of pivots at that 50 mid-5s range that you can go to. But if you ask me those price guys and who has the highest ceiling, I think Klay is right there, man.
I'm with you 100%. Buddy was one of my core plays, honestly. But now that I've seen this Klay Thompson ownership, I'm going to Klay.
I think it makes sense, and I'm with you.
He's 13% projected ownership. Dylan Brooks is 31% projected ownership.
Yep.
I guarantee you that Klay Thompson outscores Dylan Brooks tonight. Guarantee.
Oh, wow. A guarantee with the big slug of the booze in the yellow cup. That's a serious statement right there. Straight vodka, I would assume.
No. Straight H2O is what that is.
Did you know that Todd lives for Saturdays, not Sundays? That's what I've heard now.
Not Sundays?
No, it's Saturday. Todd's living for Sundays or Saturdays today. All right. That's how we see that game coming out. I think it's a great game to have exposure to, and definitely don't take that game lightly, because you're going to be chasing points all night, in my opinion, if you don't have a decent enough ownership in this one. All right, game 2, Crash. It is a 7:30 game. The first game was at 7. It's the big scoreboard watch game on the chart tonight. First 240 number of the year. It's the Pacers at the Nets. Brooklyn's favored by 11. 240 is the number. 114.5 implied for Indiana, which is a really good number, and a very stout 125.5 for Brooklyn. With that number, I wonder how many people are going to just say, screw it, I'm going with Durant and I'm going with Kyrie. I know you'd spend all the dough right there, but that's a big number, man. There's no question about it. And we've got Indiana, the 11th fastest paced team in the league. Brooklyn's 5th. So you got really good speed here. And guess who the worst 2 defensive efficient teams are in the National Basketball Association, Crash?
Well, I know one of them is Indiana because we talked about it yesterday.
Indiana's
The other
last,
one's going to be Brooklyn.
and Brooklyn's second
Yeah.
to last. So
Yeah.
you can't ask for a better situation as far as that goes. I mean, that is just, boxcars.
Right.
And let's take a look at ownership in this game, because based on ownership, 4 of the top 5 guys are not from this game, sir, at all. 240 total, and this is not the game that's dominating the ownership right now.
Yeah.
So very, very bizarre. The highest owned guy is Kevin Durant, 9,900. He's 23% owned, and he is my buy-up favorite today. He will be in every lineup that coach throws on the board. And if I go third person on you, I'm serious. So I am not afraid to spend $9,900 or eat 23% chalk.
Yeah, no, I like Katie. I like Katie too. He's on the thumbnail. I mean, like I said the other day, if you want to know who I'm playing, you can just look at the thumbnails.
Look at the thumbnail.
Maxey last night, Kevin Durant tonight.
Yeah,
was Miles Turner, but he's out. So Buddy Hield's on there now, but I don't know if I'm going to get to him actually. But
Buddy Hield is the second highest player owned on this one. So everybody's, the Clay to Buddy, or play both of them, and you have a ton of cash left. Hield's only 5,500, $100 more than Clay, and he's 17% owned. So the secret's out on Buddy Hield. A lot of people go in that direction. Then you have Halliburton. If you want to, 8,300 is not enough. That dude is awesome, man. He is a great play too. He's 14.5% right now. Ben Simmons still grabbing ownership, 13.5%. Kyrie, who scares the hell out of me because I don't have him in any of my builds right now. He is 13.5%, but he is $9,500. So you got to think about that one. A guy that I'm going to use some today, Crash, is going to surprise you. One of my value plays of the night, Nicholas Claxton. Mr. Claxton's $5,800.
Not a bad play.
I'm not alone because 13% of the field is on him right now as well. And the last guy I'll mention, 11%, Chris Duarte. So not a ton of ownership at all. You would expect when you have a 240 game on the board that it should just dominate. But why are people not jumping on this game so much?
People just tend to follow trends, and if a whole bunch of people are on such and such, then that's where they go. We don't do that. That's not really our thing here at DFS Coach Talk. We're watching the games, we're breaking it down from a different perspective. And I feel like that's what gives us our edge. So I think this is probably one of the better games of the night as far as stacking with the defensive efficiency ratings. I think it's something you got to pay attention to.
Yeah.
I like Halliburton and Jalen Smith with Turner out. I think Jalen Smith's a solid play. And then on the Brooklyn side, I'm waiting to see if Curry plays. I like him, but if not, I do like both Kyrie and KD, but I'm probably only going to get to one of them.
Yeah, it's so hard to commit to both. It really is. Kyrie's coming off a phenomenal game. It makes it tough. I think my only theory is I think people think this game has the best chance to blow out. That's all I can think of because it is 10-point favoritism. Brooklyn's at home. Brooklyn's 1-4. Indiana's 2-4. So Brooklyn has to win. They have got to quit screwing around.
That's the thing that's kind of surprising me. 1-4 team, and you're expecting them to blow out somebody. I mean, I don't know about that. So yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I do.
It will. I think so. Indiana, by the way, Nesmith, Tice, and Turner out. Curry questionable for Brooklyn. I think he has not played, so even if he does play, I'm just concerned they'll ease him back. And TJ Warren's out as well. So
yeah, I was looking at Curry on Fanduel at only 4,300. I think that's a pretty solid price. But I don't know if I'm probably get to it or not. There's a lot of value now that has opened up in the last couple hours. So
oh yeah, and we'll probably get more of it. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I do like Isaiah Jackson today. He's definitely the big. I like him better than Goga, a lot better. I think he's got a higher ceiling. But you can't play Isaiah Jackson and expect to get 30 minutes. I don't think he'll get 30 minutes. I mean, if you're going to go cheaper on an Isaiah Jackson, you got to expect like 23 to 25 minutes, maybe. Hopefully squeeze 27 out. But he is a good points per minute DFS guy, and I think he's he can get it going. Goga's not a terrible play, but I'd lean Jackson in that duo, and I think Jackson will probably start. What do you think on this game, Crash? So what else? How are you breaking this game down?
I mean, I think like we've talked about, I think it'll be a higher scoring game. The plays that I gave you are the ones that I like the most. I do think that Isaiah Jackson's a solid play. And Nicholas Claxton for that matter. So I don't really have much else besides that. That's probably going to be, a couple guys on each side for me and then move on.
I mean, I love the way Tyrese Halliburton's playing, but he is going to get Ben Simmons defense. So
yeah,
that's a little intimidating. Yeah,
that is true. Yeah. I don't know if I'm actually going to get to Halliburton. I actually have Luka in my lineups right now, so we'll see what happens.
See, my concern is, Durant's going to be such a key, player, and a little bit of Claxton in there as well. I want to definitely bring it back from the Indiana side because, if those guys are going to have a great game, specifically Durant, it's going to have to stay at least within shouting distance. So if some of these guys don't step up from Indiana, then, Durant misses a couple of shifts there in the fourth quarter or whatever the case may be. That's the killer. So,
yeah,
if I can put Halliburton in somewhere, anywhere, even with Simmons guarding him, I'll try to do it. That 8-3 number is tough.
I agree.
It's a tough number to get to. Jackson at 4-3 is a super deal. Buddy Hield at 5-5 is a great deal. But as far as the Hield play goes, he's going to grab some Royce O'Neal defense too. So that's no cup of tea either.
Right.
What's amazing though is Ben Simmons, Royce O'Neal, and Kevin Durant are tremendous defensive players. And they're the second worst defensive team in the league right now. So, and they're playing an Indiana team that doesn't have much. And they have a 114.5 implied. It's pretty weird, but I am definitely going to have, trust me, I'll know. Usually it's late. It seems like lately I'm playing a lot of the teams that are playing late. I'm going to be out to a fast start today with these two games because I'm going to have a good portion of my players
in the early games
from these first two games. Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right. Game 3, Crash. Atlanta Hawks and some team by the name of the Milwaukee Bucks. It's an 8:00 game. Milwaukee's favored by 5, 229 total, 112 implied for the Hawks, and then 117 implied for the Bucks. As far as injuries in this game, we've got Atlanta. Bogdanovich might play, so maybe the return of the other Bogdanovich.
No, he's out.
He's out for sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was looking at him because he's only 4,000 on Draftkings, I think
he said he might get a few minutes, but that's good. He's out. So that takes any of that confusion away. We know Connaughton, Ingles, and Middleton remain out for the Bucks. Atlanta's 4-1, and the Bucks are 4-0. So really good East Conference matchup here right off the bat.
Yeah.
You've got as far as these teams go, you've got Atlanta 19th in pace and Milwaukee 26th. So that's a concern. And then defensively, Atlanta is 9th and Milwaukee is 1st. So slow teams with good defense, not really conducive to DFS, if you know what I mean. So that is a bit of a concern. And And then let's look from the ownership standpoint and see what we've got in this Atlanta-Milwaukee game. We've got Giannis 23%, even though he's 11-8. So people willing to spend the cash. According to ownership, he's the number one buy-up guy on this slate, and it's not really close.
Yeah.
Trae Young, respectable 17% at 9,700. As much as Trae Young saved the day for me yesterday, wow, back-to-back against Drew Holiday in Milwaukee, that's a hard spend. I can't do it.
Yeah, I think on Yahoo you can at $42. That's a pretty good deal for him.
Yeah.
He can get up there with the other pay up options as far as production for sure. He's had, 50 plus fantasy point games against the Bucks recently.
I know.
So if you have the salary, I would say on Yahoo probably only. I would look at that. That's a consideration for me. And then on the Bucks side, yeah, Giannis. I mean, he's a core play for me. I like Portis more than Lopez tonight. I know last night I was on Lopez. I'm kind of going back to Portis tonight. Okay. And then Javon Carter is a pretty good value. He's been inserted into their starting lineup, and he's getting, pretty good. He played 33 minutes last night. So wow. He's 3,600 on DraftKings, 3,700 on Fanduel, only $10 on Yahoo. So he's near minimum price. If you want to look at another pivot to a Tyus Jones type play, I think that he's a decent value for sure.
Okay. Portis is getting 16% ownership because of that $5,400 number. That is a tempting price point for him.
Yeah.
This is the one, though, that just makes me scratch my head. And if he has a breakout game and goes berserk, more power to him. How in the hell is Drew Holiday at $8,100, 13% owned? I mean,
DraftKings?
Yes. He can't drop the ball in the damn ocean right now. I mean, he hasn't made his number, and that's really expensive.
Yeah, that is.
I don't get it.
I wouldn't play him for that much. Let me see what he is. 7,500 on FanDuel. That's a better price, but he's 31% projected ownership.
I mean, he's going to improve, but he's playing like garbage right now. He really is.
Yeah, because he's going to get DeJounte Murray.
Exactly.
You can defend him pretty well. So
you better believe it.
Yeah. I wouldn't go to Drew Holiday.
I was shocked when I saw that. I don't know if that's on reputation or matchup or what they're expecting. Your Brook Lopez plays only $5,000, 11% he's grabbing, which is very respectable number. Then you've got John Collins at 8 and Clint Capella at 8. So not a whole lot. This game's certainly going overlooked with some of those bigger totaled games. And, it makes total sense to me. I do think John Collins, though, for $6,600 is underpriced. I know that he's got to face, Giannis and company, but it just seems too cheap to me. I still think his ceiling is really good. I think Capella is pretty washed up personally. And I think you're going to get most of the interior production from Collins. So
is that the only play you like, Coach?
Pardon me?
Is that the only play you like in this game?
No, I like somebody by the name of Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
Antetokounmpo. I still can't say. He's a 90-time great player, MVP, all this stuff. And I can't say his last name.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo. I don't know. It's Giannis to me, and that's all
Giannis
I care about.
All you gotta know. Yep.
I mean, let's face it. The guy's dominating right now, and he's cheaper than Luka. And I just, until they price him at 12.5, 12.8, where he should be.
Yeah.
I think that, I think he's a commodity. I mean, for me, I want to ride Durant and Giannis today. Those are my pay up guys.
Okay.
Those are the two that I like the best. And, it's a little tougher on DraftKings because you can't get everybody to fit, but you can on FanDuel, and you can on Yahoo pretty easily.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you 100% there. And this game should be a lot more competitive than Dallas and Oklahoma City. I mean, Dallas should run them off the floor. So
You would think so, but you know, who the hell knows anymore? Some of these games they just flip on their heads. But yeah, I agree. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it as well. So, all right, you ready for the next one? Do we need to check it? Let's see. What is everybody else saying in here? Who do y'all think? Lopez and Greek on the second night of a back-to-back. You know, I think the Greek Freak's just playing. I mean, he's just so damn good right now. I mean, he's dominating. I think he's going to dominate in this one as well. Capella's got a good reputation as a defender, but he's a little older. I don't think he's quite the player that he was. So, I'm getting, let me answer a few of these questions before we dive back in. So the ownership right now for somebody asked about my key play on this slate. Kevin Durant is like the 7th highest owned player on DraftKings right now at 23%. Durant on Fanduel is 5th highest at 30%. And on Yahoo, he is, let's see, where is he on Yahoo? He's not getting any love on Yahoo. Why don't I even see him in the top group? KD, where are you? Yahoo, I guess I'm going to get a real bargain there because I'm not seeing in this top group where KD is. Do you see him? Or am I losing my mind? Kevin Durant on Yahoo ownership. There he is, 13%. So 30% on FanDuel, only 13% on Yahoo. See, that's why I love Yahoo, man. The ownership on there gets real squirrely. It gets really, really interesting. So, so to answer that question, there's his ownership. I think he's a nice owned spot on DraftKings. A little chalkier than I'd appreciate on FanDuel, but I still love him, and a steal for that ownership on Yahoo. As far as Lopez scares me a little more on a back-to-back right now. Not that I'd be afraid to play him because of it, but Giannis does not scare me at all at this point. He's just playing great. Yeah, Luka at 12.5. I mean, it makes sense. I really think Luka and Giannis should be 12.5, Crash, to be honest with you. They've dominated by that much. So
right.
Yeah. And Travis, I looked at Lopez a little bit too, and he's an option from Jackson, but I just like Jackson's spot a little bit better. No question about it. Jim Parrish, where have you been? Have you seen Jim in here recently?
I've seen him on Discord, but I haven't seen him on here recently.
What the heck, Jim? What happened, my man? We've missed you. I do not like Capella at all, but I do really like Collins. He's one of my plays because I think he's too cheap, especially at that $6,600 number. So, Jim, great to see you back in here. I hope you're with us all the time. Are we ready for the next game, sir?
You asked about Capella. Did you ask about Capella?
I said don't play him. I don't think he's a good play at all.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okongwu splits the game with him. So you got a 50-50 split anyway. And I just going against that interior of, Giannis and the Greek Freak, I'd say that anything they get in the paint, a lot of it's going to be Collins. Yeah, Capella will get a dunk once in a while, but I don't like the minutes. I don't like the play.
Yeah.
All right. Did we skip a game somewhere, or did I go? I didn't do Philly Chicago.
You didn't do Philly Chicago, but what time?
It's 8 o'clock.
Same time. So
8 o'clock game. Philly Chicago. Philly's 2-4. Bulls are 3-3. You've got Philadelphia as a 2-point road favorite, 221.5. So definitely not 20 points less, for example, almost in that Brooklyn game. Interesting game here though. As far as, let's see, we've got Philadelphia 112 implied, the Bulls 109.5. As far as injuries go, obviously we know that let's see, Drummond is questionable, Ball out, Levine and Dosunmu probable. It looks like Levine will play from what I read. Philadelphia, I don't have anybody out. Do you?
I thought maybe Drummond would be out, but I don't know. I think he's questionable. Game time decision.
No, from Philly, I'm saying.
From Philly.
Yeah.
No. It looks like Embiid is not on the doesn't have an injury tag. So yeah,
Right.
It looks like Philly is going to be at full strength. Now, I liked DeAnthony Melton in the starting lineup last night. I still like him a little bit, but I'm not quite as high on him as I was most of the day today. But we have to talk about Tyrese Maxey's price on DraftKings because it's just stupid.
Yeah. I don't know why he's priced that low.
Why?
Yeah. It makes no sense.
Almost 40 DraftKings points a game, so you're getting 6 to 7x just right out the chute. So
right.
Get it.
Well, what's more confusing to me though, at that price tag, why is he not chalky?
I mean, 22%, decent ownership, but it should be higher. I agree. But we said the same thing about Klay Thompson. So, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, right now, Maxey $100 more than Klay. I'm taking Maxey every time.
Me too.
I mean, 22% isn't bad, but when you start looking at guys, let's go over the top 10 or 15 here just to give you a whole shot at it. And we'll still talk about the other ones as we go. Tyus Jones right now is 50% owned, and I don't give a damn. I'm playing him. So you can say eat the chalk, evildoer, whatever you want to say there, boy from Cali, but it's just a great play. But Dylan Brooks, 31%. Jalen Smith, 30%. Just because, Turner's out. I mean, he's not even the center. He's been playing the 4. So I'm not sure why. I guess people are looking to jam a few guys in from that game just because of the total. And then Desmond Bane is 27% and THT is 25%. So you've got 4 of the top 5 owned projected players from that Memphis-Utah game. I just scratching my head. I don't agree.
I just 3,700, but I've never
he doesn't look good.
I've never liked him. I mean, I never liked him when he was with the Lakers. So
you get what you pay for sometime. That is a value fade for me. Like we've been pulling some of those, like Josh Richardson, some of those fake chalk guys. I just haven't seen it, and I think that he falls into that complete realm. Giannis is next at 23, KD at 23, Maxey at 22. So again, I get it. 22 is respectful, but 5,700 for a guy that's been breaking slates.
Right.
Colin Sexton, Crash. What is your opinion on Colin Sexton? He's 19% projected ownership here.
Okay, 4,600.
He's a volume shooter.
Yeah.
But, he's just coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be concerned about that.
I think it's a reach.
I don't think he's a bad play. I just don't think he's a great play.
I like the price, but I mean, it's risky. Lauri Markkanen, 6,900 now at that price. He's been in that 72, 69 range. He can be boom or bust at times.
Yeah, I do like Lauri Markkanen at 6,900. I think that's a little too cheap for him. So
yeah, I mean, again, Memphis hasn't played great defense by any stretch of the imagination, but
with all the guys that are out for the Jazz, I mean, I feel like it's going to be a good play, but we'll see.
It could be. Here's the big one though that's really churning my stomach though is Joel Embiid, because he is next at 10-2. So he's $2,300 cheaper than Luka. Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
But Embiid is a terrifying fade for me because he's the guy. In fact, in a secondary lineup, I'm going to put him in there because he could absolutely dominate that game. Vuk's not a good defender.
Not scared of Vooch's defense?
No.
I know. I had that written in the notes, but it looks like he's he's going to play. So
yeah, 18% too. That can do damage if you fade him, and But Vanderbilt's 18, Trey Young 17, Buddy Hield and Portis 16 and 15, Hayward, Draymond Green, and Tyrese Halliburton are 14. There are so many different ways you can go. It is unbelievable today.
Yeah.
This is a really good night for a 6-game slate. I mean, you cannot beat the choices that we have tonight. All right. Is Jordan Clarkson starting, or is he going to be the 6th man? Yeah, Horton Tucker, tell me about it, Jim. I can't go there, Jim. I really can't. I agree with you. That's a good point there, Mr. Styles. He is dirt cheap though, based on his output. But with Embiid, who's a big ownership monster, Harden, who's had a couple of bad games, he's going to be chucking and ducking. Does that affect Maxey enough just from a usage standpoint? That is a good point. It's that could be a reason to go a different direction there, but it's Utah's not exactly burning it up defensively either. So we will see.
The only reason I would play somebody like Horton Tucker is if I was trying to get to somebody like Luka, but Luka's 10% projected ownership. Yeah. So that's clearly not the reason why. And unless it's to get to Giannis, I think it's a bad reason to use him. So
I agree. I mean, we've got a bunch of pay up guys that are possibilities today. And so there's tough choices that you have to make. It's that simple.
Right.
Fear money. Javon Carter is liked by Mr. Crash Davis and disliked by Mr. Coach. So you got a varying opinion there. I wouldn't play him. Crash thinks he's a value. He's only 3,700 and he is getting minutes. I'll give him that. He probably will get that sterling Trey Young defense too.
Exactly. That's a big part of it.
I get it.
Yeah. See, I talked you onto him, or you talked.
No. I like him. Don't like him, but my dislike for him is lessened a little.
Yeah.
How's that for moving the needle for me?
So I don't know if I went to Chicago, my Chicago plays. I think I gave you who I liked on Philly, but I don't know if I gave you who
I liked on Chicago. What do you got on Chicago?
DeRozan is in play, but I don't think I'm going to get to him. Vucevic, if Embiid would have been out, but he's looking like he's going to play. The only other play that I like is, and it's mostly revolving around Zach LaVine, which I think you said it sounds like he's going to play. So probably not going to get to it, but Kobe White would have been a decent value play.
Yeah, he's not going to get the minutes now that those guys are playing, though.
Right, which is frustrating because I keep building my lineup around guys that keep, getting off of them because of news. But that's all right.
I know it. From the thing about that game, and it is much lower of a total in those other games. It's a concern. Philadelphia's playing the second slowest in the league, and they're 29th. Chicago's 18th. Philly is not defending very well, 23rd. Chicago is 8th. So that is respectable. But, I mean, this game is a tough one. I mean, I know you were on Harden for a while. Have you soured on him completely now?
On Harden?
Yeah.
Not completely, but with Embiid back, I don't like him as much. I mean, right. I can see why people would say, well, wouldn't you say the same thing about Tyrese Maxey? Well, James Harden isn't $5,700, So yeah. I don't worry about Tyrese Maxey getting me 30, I don't feel like I have to worry about that at all. So I would, be more concerned about Harden getting me 60. So with him being in there. I was going to say something about Yami Styles. I definitely agree about that. Brandon Clark, is a much better play than Talen Horton Tucker. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't like either guy. I like you two guys, but I don't like either one of those plays.
Yeah.
For me on Philly, I'm terrified of Embiid. I think he's a good play. I don't think I can fit him in the lineup. Maxey's underpriced. I don't want to pay that money for Harden. Not in a game that I think will be a little slower. Can he blow up? Absolutely. But I think they're going to go more to Embiid with with a
Yeah.
weaker interior defense, in my opinion. But I'm not going to have a lot of exposure to this game.
Not either, honestly.
Yeah.
Besides Maxey, I mean, he's going to be the main guy for me for
Yeah,
sure.
I just, I just don't think this game fits that well into the big scheme of things tonight.
Yeah, no, I agree totally.
All right, 2 games left, and they're both at 9 o'clock. Crash, you can get some extra football sleep tonight.
Yeah,
there's no
well, I'll
10
be watching
o'clock
World
game.
Series, so hopefully that doesn't go,
Oh my
14
God,
innings.
that game was on till I don't know what time it was. I was awake. It was like 1:30 in the morning or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's crazy, but it was nuts. All right, the 2 9 o'clock games. Let's get these rolling down the road here. Oklahoma City Thunder and Dallas Mavericks. Dallas favored by 10.5, but the lowest total on the board, 218.5. That's it. 104 implied for the Thunder, 114.5 implied for the Mavs. And that's not that high of a number compared to some of these tonight. That's for damn sure. And that's definitely something to be concerned about. Injuries, Giddey and the rookie Williams out for the Thunder. Bertans and Ntilikina remain out for Dallas. Thunder come in 2-3, Mavericks 2-2. It's in Dallas. They're a 10.5 point favorite. I'm not playing Luka tonight. I know it just absolutely ripped my guts out last time with a 40-point triple-double or close to it. I can't do it, man. I think this game is going to be a little lopsided, and I'd rather use the spend up dollars elsewhere. And 12.5 is an attention grabber.
Yeah, it is. I am playing Luka tonight. I don't want to fade him at 10% ownership on Draftkings. I know he's 12.5, but every lineup I've built so far, I've had the salary to put him in there. So I just don't see a reason why I have to avoid him. I'm not saying he's the best pay up option. He may not be, but he does have the lowest ownership. So I like that about him. And he's Luka. He's averaging 66 fantasy points a game. So
hey, he's the lowest owned of the pay up guys. So
yep, exactly.
A lot of people are, I guess, thinking like me, and the game isn't conducive to high score. He's quite a bit more expensive. And no, I get it. I mean, you're going to get him at a song, and he still could throw up one of those crazy games.
Right. Yep. And then I did have Aaron Wiggins on the other side, but I'm probably not going to go there. I mean, there's so much value now that I don't have to do that. I like Christian Wood a little bit. Probably not going to get to him for the same reason with all the value. Tim Hardaway Jr., I think, is another decent value play if you want to pivot from some of the chalky plays. But this game is becoming more and more of a fade for me as the values opened up.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody that's playing DFS is sort of on the same planet here. This game is just woefully owned. I mean, it's the lowest, it's game scripts out to be the lowest scoring. Not a lot of ownership. Luka is grabbing 10%, which is peanuts for Luka. Only 10% ownership at that 12.5 number, which is the highest owned guy from this game. But and there's hardly anybody else behind him. Aaron Wiggins at 7%, Darius Baisley 6%. People keep grabbing Darius Baisley. He's always on the board. SGA is interesting. Let's talk about that. He's 9,300, so he's expensive, but he's also 3,200 less than Luka. He's been blowing up the numbers, and he's 5% owned. Crash. Does SGA get any attention for you here?
No, he just isn't. I just don't feel it. I don't have a good feeling about SGA tonight. And a big part of it is I respect Dallas's defense. I've said that many times. So yeah, I don't have a great feeling about him. Yeah.
I love SGA. I had him the other day when he had like a 63, whatever. He was awesome, but he's going to get Reggie Bullock defense. Dallas, is a dangerous team defensively, but it's, the numbers aren't showing this game to be as bad as you would think. And that's the only thing that makes you think you can get a guy or two from this game super low owned. Yeah. Oklahoma City is playing the second fastest of any team in the league. Dallas is 8th. So they are pushing the ball this year. And defensively, Oklahoma City's 11th. Dallas is only 17th, Crash. So we know that Dallas's defensive prowess is there, just hasn't come to fruition yet. But I'll tell you what, I would not be surprised at all if we look back on this game and say, why the heck didn't we grab a few guys from this game when it ended up being a decent DFS game? So it's
okay.
It's a little scary.
We'll have to see what happens. Do you know how many DraftKings points SGA has averaged against Dallas so far in his career?
I'm going to guess 36.
27.9.
Wow. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like their defense is just too much. I don't think it's a good play.
I do love Reggie Bullock
the other day, and then we played him anyway. You know?
Yeah, we did. We said the same thing. And I said the same thing. I love Reggie Bullock defense, and like dummies, we still played him. So no, I'm with you. I'm not going to play him either, but he is playing really good ball. He really is. He's playing terrific ball. I mean, I think Hardaway's the best play. He's 4,700. He's back into his regular role. And you know, not a slam dunk play by any stretch, but you got to find some value.
Sure.
But I guess I'm going to be with the field. You're right, boy from Cali. I'm a chalk eater because I'm not going to have much leverage when it comes to playing some low-owned guys from this game. I just can't get there.
I wouldn't play. I was looking at Jim Parrish's question. I wouldn't play Tobias Harris with Embiid and Harden and Maxey and all those guys. If Embiid was out, I would consider him though.
Tobias Harris is legitimately the 4th or 5th option on the floor at any given time. It's hard to believe because he was an all-star 4 years ago or whatever, and he's a good all-around player, but he's just getting the scraps at this point.
Yep.
And ceiling is definitely limited with him. All right, we got one game left, Crash. Are you ready to get to this last game?
Yeah, I think you'll be surprised by how many players I have in this game.
Okay. Memphis Grizzlies, Utah Jazz. Memphis is a road favored by 2.5. 226.5 total, 114.5 implied for the Grizz, 112 implied for the Jazz. Interesting game here as well. Injury-wise, you've got questionable on Conchar from what I've seen. Jaw's not going to play. Green's out, Jackson's out, Williams is out. For the Jazz, the guys that are questionable, Gay and Kessler, I don't think those guys are going to play a role. I know Walker Kessler has, but I'm not sure those guys are going to suit it up. Jazz are 4-2, Grizzlies are 4-1. Definitely some interest here. And like I said, they are dominating the board right now in ownership with Jones, Brooks, Bain, and Horton Tucker, 4 of the top 5 projected owned players. And not far behind them, Sexton, Markkanen, Vanderbilt. Those guys are all 18% owned or higher. So a lot of DFS people are going to be coasting into this last game expecting to burst by everybody. So I'll give you real quick the last piece of info. Memphis, 4th fastest team in the league. Utah, 14th. Memphis not defending, 26th, which is shocking. Utah, a very respectable 5th. What do you think?
Well, my favorite play from this game is Desmond Bain, but his ownership has come way up from where it was when I liked him. I like him the most at 29 on Yahoo. That's a pretty good price.
Right.
The other play I like is Jake LaRavia, but I don't think he's going to play.
No, I read that he's more than likely out.
Yeah, so there goes that. That's it for me on Memphis, except for Tyus Jones.
Okay.
On Utah, I like Lauri Markkanen, and that's probably about it for me on that too.
So you better have a nice lead.
Like 2 guys on this game. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't blame you. I mean, this isn't going to be my highest owned game. So I'm with you, but I'm not going to completely fade it either. I think, I want to get to a few spots here, but definitely not my top game. Tyus Jones will be in every single lineup that I put out there. After that, though, if I can afford Bain, I think he's a nice luxury to get to. The question I have, though, Crash, on the Utah side, because this is really difficult for me. I I think Clarkson is a decent play, but I think now that Sexton is back, you've got, some sniping from each other there that I don't think I'm going to go either direction.
Something
I'm
there.
Yeah, I'm more so like the Markin and Vanderbilt Olynyk group. Not obviously all of them, but I don't think playing 2 out of 3 of those guys is the worst play
No,
on
I
the
don't
board.
either. I think
Yeah.
Clarkson, 9%, 9.
I know. I mean, I had Clarkson in my initial build, but I just can't do it because I think he and Sexton, they're both the same player. They're going to shoot the ball as much as they can.
Yeah, and
And
one of them's going to get Desmond Bain, and the other one's going to get Dylan Brooks. So I don't know.
yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to roll out either. But Markkanen's my favorite on that side. I wish he was just a little bit cheaper. Vanderbilt's always a cheap option to go to. And like I say, no one's at all talking about Kelly O today. And if Walker Kessler's back, that would take that out for me because he'd take a little bit of his time.
He's out.
Oh, he's out for sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Then Kelly O, I think, is a reasonable play here. I mean, he's going to stretch it out to 3, and that's not Steven Adams' favorite thing to go out there and defend.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think you can get to that. What about your Santi Aldama guy you were high on early in the season?
I mean, I don't dislike him. I just, I'm kind of trying to stay away from this game because of the ownership for the most part.
Yeah.
Let me see what his ownership. 5.7. That's not bad. It's not bad.
I mean, he's cheap.
Yeah, 5,200. Yeah,
and he gets minutes. So
I could end up getting to him a little bit. I could see it.
Yep. So I will have some ownership there, but it's not going to be my top game. Yes, Hardaway Jr. is in my build right now. He's the Maverick that I think is the value play that makes sense to me today.
I like Hardaway too. Yeah.
All right. Let's build this Two Brains lineup. We'll actually give a few boom picks today. Let's give those out, and we can also give away a couple of those $3 Millie Maker DK tickets for tomorrow. If we call you out before we give anything away, though, here's the deal: to qualify to win this, not only do you have to say at least hello in chat, I need you to hit the thumbs up on YouTube. That's a qualifier now. Hit the thumbs up. It only takes a second. You can do it on your phone. You can do it anywhere because we always get a good group in here, but people forget to hit that thumbs up. And that it's important to us because it helps us move up the algorithm on YouTube and bring some more viewers. Also, we'd really appreciate it too for all of you guys that aren't in Discord and can't see all the chatter in there. If you're in here listening every day, a great way to say thank you, because this is in front of the paywall 7 days a week, is to go on Twitter when we post. We're at DFS Coach Talk. It takes literally 2 seconds to like and retweet something. We would really, really appreciate that. We work super hard at this. We put our heart and guts into it, and we want to grow this thing. And we feel we have a lot to offer here at Coach Talk, a little bit different, our own niche sort of in the DFS space. And we would appreciate you guys helping us grow it. So really do appreciate that. 3,600 for a power forward on Draftkings. All right. So I'm going to look at this for you, my friend, because we do not let anything go unanswered. That is a tough spot. So far, I don't see anybody that I like.
3,600 for what? Power forward?
Power forward.
Okay. Let me
I don't see a single guy. My best play would be Isaiah Jackson at 4,300 at power forward. That's the best play I can give you. If I give you something less than that, I think it could be garbage. And I don't give out garbage. So if you can find the 600 somewhere else, that would be awesome. All right. I'm getting this Yahoo ready while you look up that for him. I told there's not much there that cheap.
Yeah, Laravia. If
he's not playing.
He's not?
No.
Okay. That would be my play then. That's it. If not him, nobody.
All right. 4,300 Isaiah Jackson is a pretty sweet play.
Yeah. If you can get 43, yeah. But if you only have 36, then I would try and move something around.
I would shift it around for sure. Any other questions right now? Hit the smash button on Desmond Bain. Mr. Styles is saying. Can I call you Harry Styles, Mr. Styles?
How much for a center on Fanduel is he looking for? I saw center on Fanduel.
Center on Fanduel. Okay.
Yeah. How much salary you got?
I don't know what that is. That same price range, maybe. I don't know. Appreciate the thumbs up, guys. It looks like actually people are hitting that and smashing that button, as everybody says. So appreciate that. All right. Let's do the Yahoo lineup and then we'll give away the tickets.
Okay.
Whose turn is it to pick?
Yours.
Tyus Jones, $14, point guard. Does that work?
Mm-hmm. Tyrese Maxey, $22, guard.
Tyrese Maxey, guard. This is the first time we've ever built a two brains lineup, by the way, on Yahoo. So shout out to our friends at Yahoo. Kevin Durant, forward spot, $49.
Okay. Nick Richards, center, $11.
Nick Richards. Okay. Keith Richards. You know who Keith Richards is?
I do.
All right.
Johnny Depp is a huge fan of his.
I'm going to take the utility spot up right now.
Okay.
With Isaiah Jackson, because he's only $13. And he's, I believe, going to be the starting center for the Pacers tonight. So that leaves us 3 positions, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And $30 per position. So we're in good shape. What are you thinking, Crash?
You're not going to like this.
Oh, no.
Jaden McDaniels, $10, power forward.
Jaden McDaniels?
Mm-hmm.
Are you smoking some wacky tobacco, as they say in the old days?
No, sir. No, sir.
Jalen McDaniels. Jalen McDaniels?
Jalen McDaniels.
From the Charlotte Hornets?
The Charlotte Hornets.
All right, give me the reasoning behind this so that I don't have a coronary infraction right on live podcast.
I mean, he's got production. He's getting minutes. They've had struggles with bigs. I mean, it's not the worst, play for $10. I mean,
he played 23, 26, 20, 22, and 22. So that's okay. That's
$10. So
I don't think you're high. I'm just going to say drunk, but that's okay. Now we'll go for it. So that gives us $40 for 2 positions.
Mm-hmm.
Shooting guard and small forward. All right. So we have to get strategic here. If I go small forward Gordon Hayward, that would give you $60 left. So you can do a little flip-flop. And if you want to...
I'm going to take KD out and put him at small forward, and I'm going to put Giannis at power forward.
All right. So I'm going to
And you said Klay Thompson, or who did you say?
Hold on. Let me do this before I get myself totally screwed up. So I'm moving KD. I said Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward. Okay.
So
at what position?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Small forward. I don't know what you're switching. You're confusing me.
Okay, hang on.
So all we have left is a shooting guard for $60. So if you want to take Isaiah Jackson or Nick Richards out and put Giannis in at utility, you still have a lot of money for a shooting guard. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Or the infamous,
I'm following you.
Or the infamous Jalen McDaniels and his 12 fantasy points. Sorry. It's up to you. No pressure. I will say this, though. Somehow we have 3 Hornets. That might not be a good combination.
Yeah, I've moved Richards out of the lineup already.
Nick Richards, you've been cut, sir.
He got cut.
So is it okay to move Isaiah up to center then?
Yeah, that's what I did. Yep.
Okay, so we got that move in place.
So we can't move. Maxey doesn't have dual positionality on Yahoo. I wish he did.
No, he does not. It's a little tougher. You know, here's if you can do it, just so you know, I don't know if there's a shooting guard for $13, but if you put Giannis at utility, you'd have to find a dirt cheap shooting guard. Let's see if there's anybody that. No, Reggie Bullock. Oh my God, he's been struggling, but he's going to play a ton of minutes because he's going to guard SGA.
Yeah.
Aaron Wiggins. You like Aaron Wiggins? You're.
Wait, Aaron Wiggins, how much is he? He's more, isn't he?
Aaron Wiggins is cheap. Let me see. Is he listed as a shooting guard though?
I don't think so.
No. I had the overall thing. Oh, actually, I was on the wrong. So shooting guard, yeah, it doesn't look too great.
Christian, not great.
Christian Duarte. Yeah. I mean, James Bookbank's not going to get those minutes again, and we don't want another Hornet.
How mad would you be if I went with Grayson Allen?
Oh my God, he's the worst player on history of basketball. No, he's not. I mean, if you think he's going to do anything, he's looked like garbage to me. But
he had a decent game last night. But
I mean, I could live with it. I don't know if I could live with Allen and McDaniels. That could make my blood pressure go up.
What if we went with?
I mean, you don't have to buy $58 Giannis if you don't want to.
That's what I was looking at.
Because if you don't, you got enough money to get a bunch of good guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, this is taking us so long, people out there, but we're building it live, so that's what happens. Earl Tyson wants to know who Crash likes at center. Just you, not me. He doesn't want to know who I like at center. So I'm not going to share that with Terry Taylor, no. No. Jackson and Bataze are going to play over Terry Taylor. I would not go there. Too risky.
This is a GPP.
Basically, for that cheap price, you can play. I get it.
This is a GPP. What if we went with Bane at shooting guard and Kyrie Irving at utility?
Okay, that's fine with me. It's a GPP. So we've got Bane.
Well, what we'll do is we'll switch Irving to point guard and actually put Tyus Jones at utility. That way we have the whole time thing in line.
Okay. That works. So here's who we have, folks. Yahoo, if you play it, I know a lot of people don't, but you should try it. You can win. Kyrie Irving, Desmond Bane, Tyrese Maxey, Kevin Durant, Jalen McDaniels, Gordon Hayward, Isaiah Jackson, and Tyus Jones. That is the first ever 2 brains are better than 1 GPP on Yahoo. So there you go. All right. I know everybody's been waiting around for these free tickets for sure. And yeah. Now Earl Tyson's trying to be nice. That's okay. You don't have to know my center, Earl. It's good. Crash got you.
Dread for Life, which, by the way, is that guy new? I think he is.
Dread for Life 30, yes. I know a lot of people are going to go Luka and Giannis to start. You got a lot of salary.
Luka's not that high owned on Fanduel.
10%.
Oh, that's Draftkings. He's 10%.
Yeah, it's a great a great strategy. I think Dallas handles that game. That's just where I'm thinking. Hey, Sarugi W. That's another new body. Hey,
Yeah,
what's up?
it is.
What's up,
If
Sarugi?
I was playing cash, Dread for Life, I would go with Giannis and KD. That's who I would build around.
That's what I'm building around. Crash, quit
Hey.
copying my lineup, dude.
I'm just looking at the numbers. I mean, to me, that seems like a pretty obvious play for cash. So
Looney, Wiggins, or Bullock. Ugh. A bit
none of the
painful.
above.
Yeah, that's all a bit painful.
If I had to, gun to my head, I would go with Wiggins, but
I'd probably go Bullock, but barely. I'm not going to play any of those three for the record. All right, let's pull 2 tickets. If I call your name, please go on Twitter. DM me at DFS Coach Talk with your PayPal email. We'll shoot that 6 spot over to you so you can grab a few $3 DK Millie Maker tickets for tomorrow. And then just give us a shout out. That's all we're asking for. Quick shout out. I won $1 million on the free play from our friends at DFS Coach Talk. All right, the winner of today's is CMO 614. CMO 614. You have won 2 tickets. Give us a shout at DFS Coach Talk, and we'll get that over to you, man. Congratulations. All right. Hopefully this helped everybody. We've got 52 minutes until lock, so plenty of time. We'll be in Discord with our members, figuring out any last minute changes or lineup adjustments. We can go over a couple of things here real quick, though, and then we'll hit the road. Sort of pay up, value, and fade. For me, my values is Jones, point guard for Memphis. And then I'm going pay up, split between both Giannis and KD. I love them both. And you can go ahead. Dirk, I got to shut Dirk's ears. I'm fading Luka at that price. All right. He didn't hear me, so I'm okay. But I do think Luka, I mean, if Luka scores 60 fantasy points in this game, then I think that's okay. I think you can live and overcome a 60-point fantasy night from Luka at 12.5. That's my theory there, Crash.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
How about you?
Yeah, for me, my pay up is Luka. My value play is Nick Richards. And now on DraftKings, it's Tyrese Maxey and Klay Thompson, both of those. And then my fade is going to be most of Memphis, honestly. But
you're fading the Memphis Grizzlies.
Most of them, not all.
I guess both of us are fading Dylan Brooks, and he's chalky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dylan Brooks. That'll be my fade. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because Klay Thompson's going to outscore him tonight. So
I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, friends. Thank you so much for listening in. We really do appreciate you. Deb and I are on tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 4:45 for the night slate tomorrow. So that's cool. Definitely join Deb and I.
I gotta give my boom fantasy plays, Coach.
Oh, okay. Let's do that as well.
I got Kyrie over 38.5 PRA, and I've got Tim Hardaway Jr. over 17.5.
I like it. I'm going to give you my picks right now live on the show here because I did look at these earlier and I did not write them down. So I'm going to share them because we're all friends here and we can do that. All right, I'm going Klay Thompson. All the heat I'm taking for playing Klay Thompson here. 16.5 real points. He hasn't been getting there. He gets there tonight. Kerr gives him a little extra run. Let's get this monkey off his back. He's going to be 20 plus real points tonight. I'm not afraid to go out there and say it.
He's going to do that in the first half. That's my prediction.
Oh, my God. I don't know about that. I also like this one. Gordon Hayward, 27.5, but it's points, rebounds, and assists.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he plays a good role. They hang in there at all. He's going to have a big night. So those are my 2 Boom Fantasy plays. Thank you for Boom Fantasy for being our sponsor. In this video, make a GPP DraftKings lineup. We don't, and So Rugi W, we don't ever do any builds of DraftKings full lineups because it's against DraftKings rules. And what we do, if you want to become a member at Coach Talk, go to dfscoachtalk.com, because we do give out a core build for DraftKings based on their rules, and they're good friends of ours. Fanduel and Yahoo, though, we do give out full lineups, and we build a GPP on here. Usually Fanduel, now we'll throw Yahoo in there once in a while as well. But thank you for that question. Thank you for all the new people, too. Really appreciate all of you. And congratulations again to our winner of CMO 614 for today. All right, Crash, good luck tonight, my friend.
Yeah, you too. Real quick, who you think wins tonight, game 2? Astros, Phillies.
Well, in our previous show, I had the Phillies in 7. You had the Astros in 6. So I know you're picking the Astros. I think the Astros are going to lose this game and go down 0-2. But I do think the Astros are going to come back, and I do think it goes 6 or 7. I really like Wheeler. I'm a big Wheeler fan. So I'm going to take him over Valdez in baseball and see what happens. How about you?
Yeah, if Phillies win tonight, I think they win in 5. Now, if the Astros win tonight, I think it goes 6, like I said before. We'll see what happens, though.
It's going to be a good game. Hopefully, even
I think the Phillies win the series now, though. I'm not changing my prediction. I'm sticking with it, but I'm just saying I think the Phillies are going to win the series now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I think they did what they needed to do. They got 1 out of the 2, like we talked about on the preview show, and I think they're in good shape.
It's going to be interesting. There's no doubt about it. All right. Thank you, friends. Thanks, everybody, for listening in. Definitely catch Deb and I again tomorrow at 4:45 for the NBA breakdown for Sunday night. And also hit that thumbs out on the way out on YouTube. If you're watching live on Twitter, a quick like and retweet would be greatly appreciated. Thank you, everybody, for listening in. We'll see you again tomorrow when we look to crush it in NBA, DFS, and Boom Fantasy.